let's kick it off. My pleasure to invite Hemalatha from Technip and Shelly from Chrysalix. Hemalatha and Shelly, can you come onto the stage, please? I know you are somewhere very close to the stage. You see, just so that I give them an incentive, they are starting right after lunch, which is, well, not a very palatable time to start, to use a pun. I'm going to give them an extra 5 minutes. They can keep talking till, no, not till they drop dead, but I definitely will give them some extra minutes. But let them start. Maybe they can warm up the next 5 minutes, because both of them, I think, come up with excellent backgrounds. Hemalatha is with Technip, and Technip is a global leader in engineering. Today, Technip is positioning themselves as a leader for energy transition. And at a global level, I think the kinds of projects they are doing are awesome. And Hemalatha leads a lot of their digital AI efforts. She'll say more when she talks to Shelly. So we have somebody who has an excellent intersection, engineering and AI digital. I think this is the combination which is probably the lowest hanging opportunity for decarbonization. I remember in our consulting, there was a time when we did some research, and guys were all looking at, okay, by 2030, how much can we decarbonize and what are the avenues? And we found that it was either a McKinsey study or something else, but they had done a good job. And they said, in the next 6 to 7 years, you're talking about till 2030, the potential for AI, digital, AI is a part of digital, potential for digital to decarbonize is 16 to 20%. That's awesome, right? And the beauty is this time frame is 6 to 7 years. Now, if you're talking about carbon capture, I produced the carbon capture website way back in 2010 called powerplantccs.com, 2010. The domain still exists with me. At that time, we said, look, carbon capture, the world emits so many billion tons. We have to capture all these. The world is capturing only 500,000 tons or something. And then we predicted, it's going to grow big. In the next 10 years, the world is going to capture 100 times that. 15 years later, the world is not even capturing a fraction of that. So anything you look at, hard sciences, carbon capture, green hydrogen, these two are touted as the two big things towards net zero. Without carbon capture, without green hydrogen, it is said that the world cannot achieve net zero. Perhaps, but net zero is some time away. And it's going to take a long time for these kinds of technologies to really make a difference. On the other hand, something like digital, something like AI, they are here, they are now, they can scale fast. And I think that's why I'm excited to have these two folks. I'm not going to stand between you and them. Hemalatha and Shelly, can you guys take over, set the context, move on? Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me well? Just a test if everyone is awake. Okay, good afternoon, namaskara. I know the sessions after lunch are really tricky. We will try our best to keep it light and powerful. For today, the topic is something without which no climate tech conversation can be complete. For the ones who are joining, any guesses? What is the topic for this session? So it's AI in energy efficiency, and quite relevant for today's world. But before we dive in, let's have introductions. I am Shelly Mittal, venture partner, Chrysalix Venture Capital Fund. It's a global fund, 23-year-old legacy, focused on industrial sustainability and innovation. And together with me is Hema. She is a true expert in digital and AI, bringing more than 20 years of experience across global industries, Schneider, TCS, and whatnot. And now she is Vice President, Emerging Technologies with Technip Energies.
Thank you, Shelly, for the introduction. Firstly, vanakkam all of you. Little more, please. Good. Thank you for that. મજામાં. તમે કેમ છો? સારું છે? Okay, good. Very nice. Thank you so much for that. Really excited to be here and especially talk about a topic which is very close to my heart, AI. And we are talking especially in the context of energy efficiency. So maybe I'll try to deep dive into a little bit more of a context setting and, Shelly, if you could just share your thoughts as well.
Yeah, sure, sure. Let's get started.
Is AI going to replace us? Well, I heard somebody say yes. Okay, I see one hand up. What about others? Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Couple of
Okay.
other.
Yeah?
Yeah, I see people are at least trying to interact.
Yeah. AI may or may not replace us. We don't know the future, but we know AI is going to help us. That part we are 100% sure. And that is where I feel what's really important, and I'm going to take this opportunity to just talk very briefly about what AI is and how it matters in the industry or in the sector that we are talking about. AI is automation, true or false? Partially. AI is like an astrologer predicting. Yes. So AI is all about using intelligence similar to what human intelligence would do and trying to apply in either a corporate world or in our home. One of the things I always feel if energy efficiency, Shelly, if I were to think, the way we save energy is either we switch off all the lights, right? We consume less energy. That's the traditional form of energy. Now, how AI can help, it can be smart. You can have smart systems that tracks your movements and either switches off automatically. If you're there, it will switch on. If you're not there, it will switch off, like automatic geysers. This is in the home. Now, think of it in the industry perspective, some of the processes that we have. AI can help digitize all of it. So again, as we deep dive into this topic, I feel what really is important, electrons are meeting algorithms, right? And energy and grid lines are meeting lines of code. So hence, both of them marry together in a very fantastic relation. And I really feel the future is both working together.
Great, thanks, Hema. I think that you have already now done the context setting. And just to let my audience know, I know a few people are still joining in. So for the next 15-20 minutes, the plan is we're gonna deep dive into 3 key topics. We're gonna look at why energy efficiency and why AI in energy efficiency matters. Number 2 would be, we will be sharing some success stories. And the last one would be what future might look like. So those would be like the next 15-20 minutes of your time. I hope we are able to add some key insights. And I think you have already given a bit of context about AI. Now let me spotlight on energy efficiency. In my experience, so I have got 16 years of deep industrial experience in the energy sector with Shell. And I've also built net zero strategies for various sectors across the globe. One of the most underrated and yet most effective decarbonization lever in any industry, I can say that with confidence, is energy efficiency. Energy efficiency, why? I mean, as we all know, it just not only reduces emissions, it can cut the cost at a faster pace. And that is what that's why I think Narsi was also pointing out initially. If we look at the other technologies like CCUS, hydrogen, alternative materials, they're gonna come in the medium and longer term of the decarbonization journey. If we have to pick one decarbonization lever that is commercially viable right now, is energy efficiency. And proven studies are there that if energy efficiency strategies are approached correctly, it can save energy cost by even up to 20-30% or even higher. So this is really important, but then we do need smarter controls, smarter sensors, data and whatnot, and that's where digital and AI comes in. So maybe let me get back to you again, Hema, and why don't you share some success story where digital and AI has proven really relevant for the energy efficiency sector.
Sure. Some of the use cases within AI or digital, I'll talk digital, and like Nancy said, AI is one part of digital, and digital is the overall ecosystem which helps in digitization a lot of applications and tools. One common use case that I see within the energy sector and which has been successful for many organizations is preventive maintenance. You know, you have a lot of equipments, and the traditional way again is if something fails, you wait for the field services agent to come and make the fix. Sometimes it could be days, sometimes it could be months, depending on the expertise that we are looking for. Now, how would AI help? Like I said, AI, just try to think of this as an astrologer, assuming all the data that you have, the sensor data that you have. If you start analyzing all of it, it starts creating a pattern. And using the pattern, you can, before even an event happens, you can forecast when a machine part is going to fail. And because you know it beforehand, you are well prepared for the failure, and you already let the engineers know what needs to be done, and they would come and do it. So thereby, you're not just saving the cost, you're saving the time, and you're also, faulty equipments means consuming a lot of energy as well. So you're saving the energy part as well. So this is one common use case that I've seen across industries where AI does help. And one thing I feel is just adding to it, which is on drug discovery. You know, some of the experiments that we do in R&D. Again, the traditional method is we start experimenting, we learn, we record our findings, and we then say, okay, this has been successful. Right? Now, what it takes is time, sometimes energy, you know, for the equipments, the machines, the digital energy that it takes. Now, imagine if you were to just convert this into the LLM, which I believe most of you would know, the Gen AI part of it. Assuming instead of you doing thousands of experiments, the AI or technology is able to give you recommendations which experiments to do first for a good success rate. So thereby you're reducing your lead time, you're also saving a lot of resources. So these are the common ones that today I see are disruptive and something organizations are really putting an effort to go ahead with. What about you, Shelly? Any use cases from your side?
Yeah, definitely. I think now if I wear my current hat as investor, I would like to share one of the key success stories at a global scale. So we, as in Chrysalix Venture Capital, we had backed a company called Sortera back in 2020 actually, 2020. And one of the key messages which I want to give by sharing this success story is that deep tech in climate can reach IPO in less than a decade. And this is a success story. I know I keep hearing during my conversation, yeah, I mean, climate in deep tech, it's long gestation periods. It's going to take its own time. However, Sortera is one of the key examples where effective collaboration between industry, academia, entrepreneurs, investors has really led to the IPO in less than a decade. So the technology is about using hardware, so intelligent, advanced sensors and AI solutions to have efficient sorting of industrial metal scrap, which can be then recycled into a more value-added material. So that is something that has really actually aligned with the industrial problem statement, and that is something would be my advice to any emerging entrepreneurs in the audience. Please do start with the industrial problem statement before working on an idea, because that's where the commercialization can be really accelerated. And that's a success story which I have got to share. To that, I think let's move on and let's look ahead. And I would love to know from you, Hema, that in your experience, what are some of the challenges you foresee in the coming years, and what future might look like for you?
Future is little gray right now. I'm sure you all have read lots on the digital side, you know, how the entire industry is changing. So, well, gray in a positive way. It was more on that. But then some of the challenges, I mean, I'll go back to the energy trilemma. I think you can try to relate it back even in the digital world. You can talk about affordability, availability, and sustainability. Even for the digital side, it's along the same lines. When we talk about affordability, companies like OpenAI or Google, X, and all the other companies, they can build their large language models and we can use them. And right now, the entire world is using some of the standard 4-5 models that are there, right? So if you think about it, everybody is dependent on it. So the challenge that we have is if any organization want to build their own LLM or the knowledge that they already have, it's expensive affair because we have shifted so far that it's expensive. So cost is definitely one part of it. Then we talk about, large industries are still fine, but when it comes to small industries, we don't have solutions that fit their requirements, in the cost that they have. So the affordability part is very important, where we feel that small, medium-scale industries, they may not be able to scale up to the digital pace that we are in today. Sustainability, interestingly, I don't know if you know, the LLM, GPT-4 or GPT-5 that we have, it's around 200 billion parameters it was trained on. So the data centers that are there, the energy consumption that's happening, it's enormous. So now it has to be a fine balance between how we are wanting to progress and also taking care of the environment. So somewhere all these challenges are definitely there. And then we talk about talent. The traditional way of working is not going to hold good, right? I mean, you have to upskill. So in fact, not even upskill, I'll use the word, you have to unlearn and learn. So the knowledge availability and the talent, that's another thing. So the challenges are many, but then there are a lot of opportunities as well. When we think about opportunity, it also the way, because you have too many things at your disposal, now everybody can learn. Earlier, you were dependent on, let's say, a coder to do some coding. Now, even a non-technical person can do some coding, maybe not an expert, but can do some coding and at least do some experimentation. So I would say, while the challenges are there, opportunities have also, new opportunities have arisen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Hema, I'm not an AI expert for sure, but then there's one news article I recently read that really, I mean, was insightful. This new term that we're going to shift from large language models to small language models was pretty interesting to understand that if we have to make a model, say, for an industry, for predictive maintenance, you give the example, we don't need to teach the model about everything in the word, right? It has to be really that niche. So that is pretty interesting to see how the world is moving. And from my aspect, from my perspective, I see that the reverse might be happening. So right now we are having this discussion about how AI can help in energy efficiency. In future, we're going to talk about energy efficient AI, So it's pretty powerful if you see energy efficiency using AI and now energy efficient AI. How can we have greener data center, energy efficient chips, energy efficient cooling methods, energy efficient commuting. So all these things I think are really important, and that's how, let's see how we can all evolve together in the future, and really looking forward to collaborate. Right now I'm as an investor, and I know Hema is doing her own role in promoting digital and AI. Happy to chat otherwise as well. I know after lunch I'm glad to see we have, it's not full house though, but we do have a good set of audience. So I'm happy that we had a good session today, and I hope we were able to give you some useful insights to reflect on. Anything else, any closing remarks from you, Hema, before we close out?
Maybe on a lighter note, I'll say, there was this meme that was circulating sometime back where I wouldn't call a gender, but some gender. Someone was washing utensils, and this person was saying, I wish AI could do this job rather than picking the creative job. It's a very thoughtful and powerful statement, and this is where I would leave you with that AI is not a replacer. While we started off with that, AI is definitely not a replacer. It's more of an enabler. It's going to help you augment what you're already doing. It's going to help you be much more creative. Not that we are not creative, but of course, it's just going to help us expedite and deliver results much quickly. Energy, you mentioned, one interesting use case that just popped in my mind. Google using DeepMind, they used AI for the data center to reduce 40% of energy consumption. You know, that was a huge, I mean, if you start using AI in the right way, you're going to save lots and lots of money, which is good for the planet and of course for pockets as well. So with that, thank you. Shelly, if you want to add something.
No, I think this is a great item to reflect for everyone to on. With that, I think I really want to thank you everyone. Thank you Narsi for giving us the opportunity, and thanks for the organizer, and enjoy rest of the event. Hope it was helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your session, ma'am. I now request Mr. Karthik Srinivasan to come to the stage to present the mementos to our speakers.
So thank you, Narsi, for the opportunity. We do power electronics and motor controllers. So it's very interesting to see AI everywhere. And people are already talking about AI in motor controllers too. And it was an insightful session understanding how it can be used.